families, creating a lifetime of memories. Sadly, some families are denied these important moments due to the sad practice of alienation. These are families divided.
Hello, I'm Elaine Cobb, and welcome to this week's edition of Families Divided. Many alienated family members depend on their faith to get through the painful separation from their children and grandchildren. This week, Dr. Colleen Murray sits down with Pastor Benjamin Agbanti and Rabbi Stephen Axelman as they discuss with you their situations and how they deal with alienation and in regards to their faith and their beliefs. They'll share these with you in just a moment.
At Victor's Crown, our focus is on you, our clients. When you arrive, our goal is that you will feel at home, from our welcoming atmosphere to our serene surroundings. Everything we do at Victor's Crown is done with our clients in mind. We have comfortable seating areas for both adults and children. A large screen TV with surround sound where clients can be occupied with wholesome entertainment while they wait. We offer complimentary refreshments such as coffee, tea, water, and snacks. Due to the present COVID pandemic, our in-person appointments are restricted to selected cases, and those are held in our luxurious outdoor open-air meeting space that we affectionately refer to as the COVID Cabana, which was built specifically for our clients to offer them the most comfortable and relaxing outdoor space available. All our other clients are offered secured web-based telemed sessions where they can connect with us from anywhere in the world.
In families dealing with alienation, communication during conflict is often very difficult. This fall, Family Access, Fighting for Children's Rights, will present a special in-person conference to address that very issue. Using and Refining Interpersonal Skills will be held September 9th through the 11th at the Marriott Research Triangle Park in Durham, North Carolina. You'll learn from experts how to master skills that can reduce anxiety, anger, and stress in alienation situations. Join Event Director Elaine Cobb, the founder and president of Family Access Fighting for Children's Rights, and conference moderator Dr. Colleen Murray as they present a lineup of highly respected experts, including keynote speaker Dr. Jeffrey Gardier, plus presentations by Bill Eddy, Megan Hunter, Dr. Joshua Coleman, Dr. Mark Mosk, Dr. Mary Alvarez, Dr. Sue Kornbluth, Shazia Sparkman, and Lisa Rothfuss. Mark your calendar now, September 9th through the 11th, for Using and Refining Interpersonal Skills, hosted by Family Access Fighting for Children's Rights, Steel Partners Foundation, and PA is CA, Parental Alienation is Child Abuse. Visit familyaccess.info for more details on the conference and secure your attendance. Seating is limited.
There's something going on in our churches. There's a population in our churches that is really hurting. And when God's people hurt, He wants us to become informed, and He wants us to be able to help. And today we're here and we're going to talk with two gentlemen, Rabbi Axelman and Pastor Agbanti, and they are going to give us their perspective on parental alienation. So, Rabbi Axelman, can I call you Steve?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So, Steve, why don't you tell us how you got involved in parental alienation?
Okay. First, I want to thank you, Dr. Murray, and I want to thank Elaine for the opportunity to share my story, and hopefully through sharing it, helping others avoid similar circumstances, or at the very least, not feel so alone. I'm someone who has twice been hurt by parental alienation, both in my family of origin, in which I was alienated from my father for many years, and later from several of my children from my first marriage. And as I know from my own experience and from other cases, the dynamics of parental alienation can be altered by one parent asserting that the other parent is not religious enough, and therefore a danger to the spiritual upbringing, the health, and the very soul of the children. So especially in fundamentalist type communities within the Jewish community, with which I am most familiar both here and in Israel, communities which tend to be very insular, when the alienating parent is able to enlist the support of the community and its religious leaders in such a conflict, the pressure on the child to alienate the parent is much greater than in a more typical case where only family members participate. And likewise, the normal guilt that children may have towards alienating a parent, the normal longing that children may have for a relationship with a parent, is greatly mitigated by religious authorities assuring them that in order for them to lead their lives in the most religious way possible, to serve God better, even to save their souls and that of their offspring, they must totally cut off a parent. And I would just add that because of First Amendment issues, courts in the United States struggle with what to do in these cases, because they have to balance between the stability of a child's life and the right of both parents to practice religiously in any way they choose.
So you came to this as a personal event, and since that time, you've come to understand some complexities in regards to a certain sect of religion, or maybe it's wider than that. And I'm going to get Pastor Agbanti's opinion of that here in a second, but and also the complexity adding in there into that additional component of the courts and the First Amendment and our constitutional rights all seem to be wrapped into this, what would seemingly be, a personal family matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, Pastor Agbanti, so how did you become involved in this?
Thanks, Colin, if you don't mind me calling you Colin.
No,
thanks for this opportunity, to talk to you on this very topic. I believe there are so many people out there that are going through very similar situation that Rabbi Stephen and I are going through. And I believe there are so many people out there that needs to heal through this process. And I believe that through this process, people receive that healing that they are looking for and be at peace. For me, like Rabbi Stephen, it's also a very personal experience. I was married for nearly 10 years. And just one day out of the blue, my ex-wife decided that she was moving on. We had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Initially, I thought this was going to be a very peaceful and, simple process, but it turned out to be a more complicated situation where having to see my children was a huge battle. I had to go through the police, getting involved just for me to see the children. And sometimes police will arrange for me to see those children, and I'll be at the point or the location where we're supposed to meet, and it never happens. I just never get a chance to, see these children. And so having to go through this process, I started looking at, a lot of searches on the internet, trying to find some answers why something of this sort may be happening, and if I'm the only one that is going through this. Fortunately for me, I came across a lot of resources and actually came across, the name Parental Alienation. I started doing a bit of research into it, reading a lot about it, and I realized that I wasn't alone. This is not anything new. It's it's been going on for many years. And I also came to discover that there are so many people that are going through this. I was able to join a lot of communities that had men and women alike going through that same process. And so for me, it was a way of getting in touch with people just to understand what alienation truly stood for. And as I studied more about it and I applied what I was studying to my own situation, I realized that I was being a victim of parental alienation. And so I made it my own personal point to make sure that, anybody that I come across, not just ministry, but anybody, anywhere that I would be able to help, to go through this process, I was more than willing to do that. I also came across mothers who were doing the same thing, alienating, their children from the fathers. And I would always step in and tell them that, no, you can't do that. It's not, you have to put the children first. It's about the children's stability, their emotions, their future. That is at stake. And so the best thing to do is make sure that these children have equal access to both of the parents. That's the right thing to do. If marriage doesn't work out, children should not be a victim. And so that is where, my involvement in parental alienation came about. And so for me, this is very personal. And I have made it, my personal business to make sure that I educate a lot of people as much as I can, to bring awareness and also to advocate for equal shared parenting, just so this alienation can go away. Nobody deserves to go through this. It's like putting somebody on a death row.
Yeah.
Right. No parent needs to go through this.
Sure. So I guess our audience can see that this is not just one small sect of people. It affects people from every walk of life, and nobody is immune to the effects of parental alienation. And so, Pastor Agbanti, can I call you Ben?
Yes, please. Feel free.
Thank you. So how do you think that your experience with parental alienation has affected your relationship with God, or has it?
In a way, it has strengthened my relationship with God. And this is the reason why. From the very beginning, I was trying to find resources, avenues to turn to for help, people to talk to. Often at times, and Rabbi Stephen and I would probably agree with me that when you're going through a situation like this, you have people that will speak good things to you, and you have people that will, sort of discourage you, to give up. And so I had both of these people coming, talking to me, helping me, advising me. Some of the advices were not very good, very negative. And some were positive. Fortunately enough, those that were giving me those positive advices were all believers, I would say pastors. And so I decided that, my source of hope and source of healing was the Bible. And so I devoted all my time to reading the scriptures and to praying. Through this crisis, I became a very prayerful person. Prayer has become a lifestyle for me. Reading the scripture has become a lifestyle to a point where I have organized Bible study groups that I'm teaching and learning together with people about the Bible and praying together, praying for people that they can receive that same healing that I received through Christ Jesus. So for me, this is very instrumental. One of the other things I have to mention also is that, and this could be a negative effect on ministry, is the aspect of distraction. Yes. Because you are constantly focused on the well-being of your children. You are thinking about where they are, what they are going through, their emotional, stability. Like a lot of things go through your head. Even sometimes when you are reading the Bible or praying, their thoughts come to mind, and you are wondering, okay, what is going on with these children? How are they doing? Are they okay? Where are they sleeping? Are they being fed properly? Obviously, it could be the mom or the dad, and they'll be fed properly. But all these thoughts come to mind. And, for me, it's a huge distraction. It can affect, your ministry life. It can affect your prayer life. If you are not strong-willed in the things of God, you can easily be distracted and focus on a problem, and
Sure.
be in a place of sadness and rejection, as opposed to just focusing on God and
Yes.
God alone.
So it sounds like this is probably a perfect example of what the enemy meant to destroy you. Actually, God used for good, to increase your faith, and to increase your reliance upon Him.
That is right. That is right. And one of the scriptures that
Wonderful.
first dropped to my spirit when I was going through this was the book of Job.
Yes.
And I read through the book of Job, and I said, okay, Job went through so much pain. His children died, and he lost his wife. He lost everything that he had.
Yes.
But the end was very beautiful. And I always
Yeah.
picture myself in that end of that story,
Yes.
that I may be going through that pain today, but I always have that hope that there's, a God who is true, a God who will bring me that same fulfillment as he brought to Job.
Yes.
That same laughter, that same joy that he brought to Job. I always have that hope that God will bring me to that place as well.
Absolutely.
And so, in the book of Ephesians 6, it talks about how the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy.
Yes.
And this is exactly what is happening in our churches today. The devil destroying families, destroying marriages. And it's sad that, the church is going through a lot of this crisis. And, I'm hoping that at some point it will become an area of church topic where people will be taught.
Yes.
So about the sanctity of marriage.
I'm gonna shift over to you, Stephen. So how has this affected your relationship with God? What have you come out of this from?
I have a slightly different take. So for a targeted parent who lives in these fundamentalist, insular type communities, the pain of losing your children isn't the only pain, because the pain is multiplied by a crisis of faith from the realization that the community on which your whole identity is built, and a community that you trusted for so long, so much of your life, has turned against you in the guise of religion. And furthermore, in my case, and I assume in certain other cases, this alienation in the guise of religion can backfire horribly. So out of my 7 children, I have 4 sons, parenthetically, all of whom I'm very proud of, all of whom I'm very close with. But despite a 7-year-long battle costing hundreds of thousands of dollars over 2 continents, despite my having been accused of all kinds of religious transgressions, as well as the other stuff that every alienated parent gets tossed at them, I won custody of my sons, but all of them totally left their religion behind. So what I want to say to alienating parents or potentially alienated parents is that what you're doing is causing severe pain not only to your ex, who is the other parent of your children, but in engaging in such a battle, you risk losing the very thing that you claimed you were fighting for, which is the religiosity of your children. Children need both parents, and alienating them from the other parent can't lead to their maturing into healthy people, whether psychologically, emotionally, or mentally. And I strongly believe that emotional and mental health is integral to true religious observance and a true relationship with God. Now, I wouldn't say that this horrific pain made me lose faith in God, but I would say that it took a while to come to terms with all of it and to forge a new and a stronger faith and relationship with God. I believe that my children, other than the 2 from whom I'm still alienated for what they assert is religious reasons, would agree that in the long term, this probably made me a better, more loving and supportive father, but at a horrifically high cost, as in most cases of parental alienation. And I think that the one religious daughter with whom I'm still very close would probably say this has added to my empathy and my understanding of others and the ability to care for them as a clergyman.
Oh, that's both of your testimonies are just a beautiful, beautiful testimony of how much God can bring us through things and increase our love for him and deepen our relationship with him out of something that is so sad and so detrimental to so many families. So Stephen, do you how has this influenced your mission as a rabbi, or has it?
Okay, so the question I probably get asked as much as any other question, I don't know if it's true in the other major religions, the why do bad things happen to good people question. So many other great thinkers, not that I'm one of them, have said the real question isn't why, but what. What do we do with our pain? What do we do with our horrible experiences in our past?
Beautiful.
And what has become clear to me is one of the best ways that I can partner with God, so to speak, is by being totally committed to working in any way possible, using my pastoral knowledge and my skills as a licensed clinical social worker to helping anyone in any way to minimize conflict, especially in family situations. So I try to do my small part in bringing peace into any situation in the world.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Ben, how the same question, has this transformed your mission as a pastor?
It has. It has given me a very different perspective of family. Rabbi Stephen was talking about how and why bad things happen to good people. And, I look at it from the perspective of the fact that God uses that period to sort of process us. He used that period to build us into something better, into a place of influence, a place and a position to help others. And I put myself in that same process where I had to go through that process. And, going through that process basically has positioned me in ministry to help others. I started another program called Family First. And what we do, my wife and I remarried by God's grace. What we do is we hold events. We invite families, both, single parents, people that are married. And it's more or less a healing process for people that are going through situations like this. And also people that need some tools to survive in a marriage, tools that they need, basically to help them as, they go through this process. And so we have people from different backgrounds coming, sharing their own personal stories. And we use scripture or the Bible as the base for our counseling. And so we're able to help a lot of families to bring about some hope that, just to let them know that they are not alone. God is always with us.
That is just beautiful how each one of you again has taken what Satan meant to destroy you, destroy your ministry, destroy the congregation. And in fact, what it has done is it has actually refocused you, encouraged you more in a deeper relationship with God, and strengthened this mission of strengthening the families within your congregations. I just think that's a beautiful testimony on both of you gentlemen's part of the legacy that both of you will leave for your congregation, for your children, and for the children of the congregation and your grandchildren. And I just think that is beautiful. We are out of time today, but it has been a delight for me to spend time with both of you gentlemen and really listen to your hearts about this this absolute tragedy that's happening within our churches, within the pews of our congregations, whether it is a Jewish congregation or a Protestant congregation or a Catholic congregation. This is happening everywhere. And so I just thank you both for being here today and for sharing your story and the love that you have for the people in your congregation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
We want to thank Dr. Colleen Murray, Pastor Benjamin Agbanti, and Rabbi Stephen Axelman for sharing their thoughts on the important topic of alienation and how to get through it with your faith.
Parental alienation is sad. When parents can't arrive at a solution amicably, it may be time to seek legal help for the sake of the children involved. In Florida, that's when you should contact Sparkman Law, specializing in litigating and defending complex and severe cases of parental alienation. Contact Shazia Sparkman, founder and managing attorney of Sparkman Law. Learn more at sparkmanlawfirm.com.
Have you missed an episode of Families Divided? Please check out our YouTube channel. Not only will you find all the past episodes, but you'll also find additional content, including clips from our online webinars from experts in the field of parental alienation. Go to the link below, or you can find a link at familyaccess.info.
Family Access, Fighting for Children's Rights, has two important email addresses you can use to reach us to request prayers for your family or to suggest a subject matter you would like to see covered on the Families Divided TV program. To request prayer for your family, please email us at prayersforfamilies@gmail.com. Is there a subject you would like covered on Families Divided? If so, then send your email to requestsforfamiliesdividedtv@gmail.com. We are here to help you in your journey.
Don't forget that seats are filling up fast for the special in-person conference in Durham, North Carolina this coming September 9th through the 11th. The conference, Using and Refining Interpersonal Skills, will feature world-renowned experts in the field of alienation. See all the details and register online at familyaccess.info. It's a presentation of Family Access, Fighting for Children's Rights.
Join us on the next edition of Families Divided, when Chris Turner will be discussing the mild, moderate, and severe cases of alienation.